Hello. So basically, we did nothing today. Just rested at home, you know, in my mother-in-law's place. I just want to talk about life and the Philippines and this province. So, for those who don't know, I am a Singaporean, born, raised, and bred in Singapore. Went through the Singapore educational system, works in Singapore, and I've seen how successful Singapore has become. And I love Singapore. I love being a Singaporean. I'm very proud to be Singaporean. But the thing is, I think sometimes all this success gets to you. You just, Singapore is always very fast-paced, and everything gets done very, very quickly. So the thing that I like about being in Singapore and being a Singaporean is we are very efficient. So what I want to say is, being in that environment, you actually go ultra fast. And sometimes you just need to stop and take a step back and just slow down. You need to slow down. And that's what I make it a point to do here, which is when I come here, I get to slow down, I get to relax, I get to see things that I normally do not get to see in Singapore. Singapore's so small anyway. There's hardly any places to go. And with my most recent vlogs, you can see we go places. We just take the car and we just drive and we just end up somewhere, sometimes unplanned, but we're able to do that. But in Singapore, I'm unable to do so because there's so limited places that you can go to, and that's something I miss. Being able to just start the car up and go on a road trip unplanned. I think that's, at this age right now, I think that is something to treasure, to be able to do that. So coming back to the Philippines allows me to do that, and I'm very, very appreciative of this blessing. And coming back to the Philippines, not Manila. Manila is an urban jungle, just like Singapore. Is to come here, the provinces, where you are so close to nature, where life is slow, you can take it easy. But I think the other thing about being here also makes you appreciate Singapore much, much more. But the thing that I've learned being here for many, many years, and how has that changed me as a Singaporean, is I've learned to be more patient, especially living the life here, no matter how short it is, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And as I said, people here, and you talk to the locals, they struggle day by day to make ends meet, but they're a lot more forgiving. So just an example, and this is a very typical Singapore example. when I'm here and I'm driving, I honk at everyone. I press the horn and I honk at everyone. Not because of anything, it's just the culture here. Because if you are overtaking on that side of the road, where you have oncoming traffic and you're fast and you have slow tricycles, you want to tell them that, hey, I'm coming in on your left, so I keep honking all over the place. In Singapore, you can't do that. I mean, there's many times that fights, road rage occurs because of the horn. I don't understand why. People are just offended that they get honked at, and that for me is very telling for myself, because I learned that bringing that experience back to Singapore, it's like, it's alright, you can horn me, because I get horned at all the time in the Philippines, and I honk at people all the time, and nobody gets angry, nobody gets into a fight. Not in the provinces anyway, because it's just the driving culture here. You're just telling people I'm here. People give way here when they know you're gonna make a turn. They give way, and I learned that, and I give way also here. It's only one car that's gonna come in front of you. It doesn't really matter. You're not gonna get to your destination an hour earlier just because you gave one car access in front of you. So I learned that a lot in the Philippines. I learned to be a very patient Singaporean. Another thing I learned being here is the sound. You can hear all these tricycles going past us, going past right now. The sounds that they are making, the jeepneys. It's beautiful sound, actually, when you learn to appreciate it. You hear birds chirping, you see birds flying, you are right in front of the river, or I am right now right in front of a river, and sitting down here gives me the most peace. Some of the biggest, I think this is one of the biggest, most peaceful moments of my life. We don't come back here as often as we would like to. I mean, I try to come back here about 2 to 3 times a year, but every time I come back here, my body gets a fresh reset. So, an example, in Singapore, it's hard for me to fall asleep. My mind just keeps on going. I'm thinking of work. I can't, I fall asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, wake up the next day, go to work. Down here, bedtime, if you're sleeping at 10 p.m., that's late. So it's normal here to fall asleep at 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. And that does your body a lot of good, and the body knows it. My body knows it, because in Singapore I've got these neck aches, shoulder pains, but down here, 3 days after we arrive, all these pains, shoulder pain, neck pain, all disappears. I feel good again. I feel normal again, so I think that's because you get a lot of restful sleep. There's not a lot of distractions here, and I try not to use those distractions, internet, social media. Although we have Wi-Fi and internet connectivity, I try to minimize the time that I look at my devices, because I want my body to reset. And wake up in the morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., have breakfast, chill out, you know. Sometimes I always say this, do nothing because there's nothing to do. And it's easy for me to say because I'm here on vacation, right? But it just allows your body to reset. I think that's very, very important. But I think for me, this is the place where I find my peace. You know, it reminds me of that movie, The Last Samurai, where, you know, Tom Cruise finds his peace up in the mountains in Japan. This is where I find my peace. And I'm very thankful for my wife because it's because of her, you know, that I get to experience all this. Having been a Singaporean all my life, but this is definitely a place that you can heal, or I can heal. And I spend hours here, especially here right now where I'm sitting by the river. If I'm not flying a drone, I just sit down here and just look out and just appreciate life. So I'm going to show you what I would be looking out to normally and why I'm here for hours. Take a look at this. Appreciate the sound of nature. Appreciate that. It's just birds chirping. We have a nice sunset coming up. That's the Arayat mountain right in front of us. And yeah, life is good. Life is good.